Hey, I just had my sister Julie look at the baby that was born, and she told me she couldn't feel my blood in it. Julie has psychic abilities, and she's pretty famous around here. I really think what Julie is saying must be right. Wait a minute, what do you mean you can't feel the blood? Don't mess with a newborn like that. It would be terrible if the baby felt stressed out because of this. From the looks of it, you seem pretty panicked. Is it because the child was fathered by another man, and you're freaking out now that it's come to light? Cheating behind my back. I will never forgive you. Why are you accusing me of such things without any proof? I've never cheated on you, so let's do a DNA test. That way, we can definitely prove that the child is yours. You say you haven't cheated, yet you seem pretty relaxed. I don't think it's my child, but let's just do it. My psychic senses are incredibly accurate, and I never make mistakes. Lately, many people have come to believe in my abilities, and it's practically turned into my job. I just can't understand why you would believe so much in psychic senses. And why do I have to be accused like this after all the pain of giving birth? I'm so not convinced that I decided to get a DNA test done right away. A week later, the DNA test results arrived, and seeing the information written there, my husband turned pale. I can't believe this is happening. My name is Monica, and I'm 29 years old. I quit the company I joined as a new graduate, and now I work in an office for a car accessories company. The company I originally worked for was quite toxic, so I don't have a very good impression of it. But there was one good thing about working there, and that was meeting my husband Ethan. When I joined the company, Ethan had just transferred from a branch to the headquarters, and we started working together. Ethan always helped me out and took good care of me as a great boss. I remember very well when I stumbled at work right after joining. He immediately invited me to a bar and listened to my story. I have something to discuss about work, is that okay? I know Ethan is busy, but I really have no one else to turn to. Of course, if it's too hard to find the time, I'll ask someone else. Don't say such lonely things. I'm finishing up my busy work today, so let's go have dinner together. I think it's a good time to listen to you. Thank you so much for making time for me. Then, I'll wait for you in front of the company as soon as work is over. Take your time, Ethan. I can't keep Monica waiting, so I'll leave on time. I've been working non-stop lately, and I've been wanting to take a break. I'm happy to have dinner with Monica in the middle of all this. And so I went to dinner with my husband and got his advice. As we did this, we grew closer, and before I knew it, we started dating. After dating for a few years and fully understanding each other, we decided to get married. But when I first met my in-laws at our wedding introduction, it turned out they were very strict people. Ethan was always kind and gentle, so I had never imagined that. When we went to introduce our marriage, instead of words of blessing, they said many harsh things. Do you understand what it means to marry our son? You'll be joining our family, which deals with traditional crafts, and you'll take over. I've never heard such a thing. Dad, I've told you we haven't thought about that yet. Why are you bringing up such formal things when we're just here to announce our marriage? I just want to think about happy things right now. You must bear a son and raise a successor for our family, Ethan. And we need to have Julie look at Monica's spirit. Having her look at spirits, what does that mean? I don't understand what you're talking about. My sister Julie has been very psychic since she was young and can see various things. But I think Monica is a good person, so there's really no need for her to look. Apparently, Ethan's family strongly believes in his sister's psychic abilities, and they have her look at everyone new they get involved with. I had never heard such a thing, so I couldn't hide my surprise. I thought Ethan was a very pure person, but I didn't expect him to believe in such spiritual things. However, Ethan seems to believe in me, and he said there's no need for his sister to look at me. And so, we left my in-laws' house and headed back to our own home. Once we got home, Ethan began to explain about his sister Julie. Probably because he thought I felt suspicious. I really appreciated his consideration. Don't worry about what happened earlier. Sure, Julie's psychic abilities are impressive, But you're a good person, Monica. I think even if Julie sees you, she'll say you're good. It's nice of you to say that, but does everyone in the family really believe in psychic abilities that much? I'm not the type to believe in things like fortune-telling, so it seems strange to me. Julie's psychic senses have always been strong, and she's often right, which has saved us from misfortunes, so everyone believes in her. Even though I've had problems solved thanks to her. I'm surprised to hear that. I've never heard such things before. I think it's okay to believe in psychic abilities, but we need to be careful not to overdo it. It feels like it could lead to dependency, creating an uneasy atmosphere. You don't have to be so harsh. Julie looks at spirits with good intentions. If you're worried, why not let her see you too? Even if I don't believe it, I don't want to hear anything unpleasant, so for now, I prefer not to believe in things like psychic abilities. It's not like I dislike Julie or anything. I hope you and Julie can get along, Monica. But I'm not going to force you to have your spirit checked. If you ever have any problems, maybe it's because of a spirit, so consider consulting her. If I have problems, I'd rather discuss them with you. I don't want to blame spirits for my troubles. It feels like avoiding real solutions. I really want to understand your feelings, Monica. We've had so many readings, I can't just dismiss them. Well, if you think of it as just a hobby, I'd be happy. Ethan doesn't seem to understand my feelings at all. I don't get why he can believe in psychic senses so much. If I had psychic abilities myself, maybe, but I can't believe in someone else's psychic senses. However, if I keep denying his family's beliefs, it feels like it could damage our relationship. So, I decided not to argue too much and just keep my distance. While living with these thoughts, I discovered I was pregnant. We had always wanted children, so I was very happy. When I told Ethan about the pregnancy, he was overjoyed. Is it true that you're pregnant, Monica? This has to be the happiest day of my life. I never thought we would have a child. I didn't expect to get pregnant so quickly either. I thought maybe, so I went to the doctor. When I found out I was pregnant, I started crying. I cried at work when Monica called me. I started crying so suddenly that my colleagues were worried about me. Since today is a celebration, let's eat anything you like, Monica. I'm really happy that you're so pleased. I wonder what our child will be like. Maybe they'll be as lively as you. We don't know the sex yet, so it's hard to say. But whether it's a boy or a girl, they'll be lively like us. Monica, you're as energetic as I am. As long as the baby is born healthy, that's all that matters. About the pregnancy, we should tell the family, right? I think it's better to tell friends after the stable period. Why don't we go tell them in person? It's the first grandchild for both our families, so they'll be happy. Just imagining that scene makes me very happy. Yeah, our parents are going to be grandparents. I'm sure they'll be thrilled, so let's go tell them in person. For now, let's visit your family this weekend. Thus, we decided to go to our parents' house to announce the pregnancy. As Ethan and I had discussed, since it's the first grandchild for both families, they're sure to be delighted. We don't know the sex yet, but just having a grandchild will surely make both sets of parents very happy. I'm not sure how they'll react, but I'm really looking forward to announcing it. Ethan also seems eager to tell his parents, and he looks very excited about going. It's been a while since I've seen Ethan this happy, so I'm really glad we're having a child. When we arrived at Ethan's parents' house, his parents welcomed us immediately. We were just here, but what happened? And you usually called before coming. There was no call, so we're not prepared. I came here today because there's something I need to tell you. I decided a few days ago but forgot to call. Anyway, I have something to discuss. May I come in? It's fine for you to come in, but it's just me and your dad at home. Julie went out with friends and isn't here, so she can't do any of her psychic readings. It's okay, I didn't come for Julie specifically. Having you and Dad here is enough. Anyway, I have something important to talk about, so may I come inside? I'm sorry for barging in like this. I have something I need to report, so I came over suddenly. All right, come in. I'm curious about what you have to say. I'll go call your father, so please wait in the living room. This allowed us to enter my in-laws' house. The sudden visit seemed to have put my mother-in-law on high alert. My husband rarely returns home, so they must be surprised he came back just a few days later. But once they know the topic is about our pregnancy, I think they'll understand. While we were waiting in the living room, my mother-in-law brought my father-in-law over. We were trying to start with small talk, but Ethan couldn't hold back and started with the main topic. It's rare for us to have such serious discussions, so he seemed very nervous. He looked unusually stiff, and even from behind, I could tell he was tense. Actually, Monica is pregnant. Is that true? That's wonderful news. By the way, do you know the sex of the baby? We've only just found out about the pregnancy, so we don't know the sex yet. You must have a boy. If it's not a boy, I won't accept it. Why would you say something so awful? It's our child, I want you to love them no matter what. We need a boy to carry on the family legacy, we're really counting on having a grandson. No way. Enough, I thought you would be happy about this. If that's what you're going to say, we're leaving. Let us know when the baby is born, and if it's a boy, I'll come to the hospital. If you're going to talk like that, don't bother coming to the hospital. I thought you would be more joyful, why would you say such a thing? I never imagined it would turn out like this. Sure, Ethan's family has a prestigious history with traditional crafts, but I didn't expect to be told such things. Wanting a boy for succession I can understand, but not accepting the child if it's not a boy doesn't make sense. It seems Ethan agrees, as we decided to leave his family home immediately. From then on, we relied only on my family, who genuinely celebrated our pregnancy. Months after the pregnancy revelation, the day of birth arrived. Our baby boy was born. Seeing our child, Ethan was overjoyed. Is there anything cuter than your own child? He doesn't seem to look like me but looks cute like Monica. Since it's a boy, let's report it to Dad and Mom right away. I was nervous about whether I could have a boy, but I'm relieved I did. My parents can't come until tomorrow. I'd be glad if your parents could come. They'll surely be happy when we tell them it's a boy. We kept the sex a secret until birth. It would have been tough if we thought it was a boy and a girl was born. But I'm relieved we had a boy. I don't know if he'll be the heir, but I'd be happy if he's accepted. They were so stern before, they'll surely be pleased now. Although it was tough, thank you for enduring the birth. From now on, let's cherish and raise our child together. Because you supported me, I was able to give birth. I definitely couldn't have done it alone. While having this conversation, Ethan contacted his family. It turned out the whole family was together, and all three hurried over. We hadn't seen them at all since they made those comments, but seeing the baby, my in-laws smiled brightly. However, Julie looked at the baby with a puzzled expression and spoke to the family out of my hearing before leaving the hospital room. I don't know what's happening, but I understand it's not good. If it were good news, they would have spoken where I could hear. As I was waiting, Ethan stormed into the room, furious. Hey, Julie says she can't feel my blood in the baby. Monica, you must have cheated on me. I never thought you'd do such a thing. Wait, what are you talking about? What do you mean by can't feel the blood? I don't understand what you're saying. So I had Julie take a look at the baby, and it turned out he's not my child. It means, Monica, that you must have had a child with another man. Why do I have to hear such nonsense? I haven't cheated on you, and I'm absolutely sure this child is yours. Why don't you trust me? Julie's psychic sense is never wrong. It's more reliable than anything verbal. I can't believe Monica would cheat. I don't understand why you won't believe me. I want you to not believe in such baseless psychic senses. This child is definitely yours, please hold him with assurance. How can I hold him if he's not my own? I came here because you said you had a boy. I never imagined the child wouldn't have our blood. To think you'd have a child with another man, you must be out of your mind. How can you sit here so calmly? You'll be raising this child on your own from now on. From what I see, there's no way this child is your brother's. Clearly, our bloodline isn't present. Even without psychic abilities, this should be obvious. I always thought he didn't look much like me. Still, I never expected he was a child from an affair. I can't trust Monica anymore. It's time for a divorce. I can't understand why this is happening. I have absolutely no memory of cheating, yet Ethan's family doesn't trust me. If this continues, I'll just be labeled as a cheater. I refuse to accept that, so I've decided to fight back as much as I can. Otherwise, it's not fair to the child who's just been born, and it's utterly unacceptable to me. To convince Ethan's family, who only believe in psychic abilities, I've decided to get a DNA test. I've not cheated, so let's do a DNA test. That will prove I haven't been unfaithful. Are you sure you want to be so assertive? Julie's psychic abilities are really trustworthy. Even with a DNA test, the answer won't change. So, Monica, you don't trust my psychic abilities. Well, you haven't seen it, so naturally, you wouldn't. But, a DNA test is just a waste of time. We won't know unless we try, will we? What will you do if the DNA test shows I haven't cheated? Being demeaned like this doesn't feel good at all. Well, I can't trust Monica anymore, so I'm thinking of divorce. Are you sure you want to say that? I haven't cheated, anyway. Julie's psychic abilities have never been wrong. All right, I'll prove how incredible Julie's psychic abilities are. Julie's psychic abilities are that incredible, huh? I don't really understand, but that's fine with me. Let's wait for the DNA test results. I know what the DNA test will show without looking. Anyway, since he's not part of our family, raise him by yourself. I'll be back when the DNA test results are out. That's why I called my parents and asked them to come to the hospital right away. Alone, I can't take care of the child. The DNA test results will take about a week, so I'll stay at my parents' place for that time. I didn't want to tell my parents the real reason, so I said Ethan was away on a business trip. My parents welcomed me warmly, which was very comforting. A week later, the DNA test results arrived, and we looked at them together with Ethan's family. The results were as I expected, but being so accused made me anxious. However, Ethan's family, trusting in Julie's psychic abilities, showed no sign of anxiety. As I looked at the results, they clearly stated the child was Ethan's. Just as I said, how can you say you don't feel your blood in him? I really don't understand what you mean. How can this be? The test results must be wrong. There's no way Julie could be wrong. With such a precise test, there's no way it's wrong. How much nonsense do you need to spout before you're satisfied? Now that the DNA test is out, you are the father of this child. Hey Julie, what's going on? You said you couldn't feel my blood. How could this happen? I don't know. I really couldn't feel your brother's blood. This has never happened before. I don't know what to do. Well, isn't it good that he's really our child? I've been thinking, and it's better that he is indeed our child. This way, he can be the heir to our family. That's true, especially since it's a boy. We need to raise him strong and make sure he's ready to be the heir. People make mistakes, even Julie. Ethan's family seems to forget what they've said. No, they remember, but they might be trying to act like it never happened. But I won't let that slide. I intend to get the alimony I deserve. After being spoken to so horribly, I can't just pretend nothing happened. It's unthinkable to be spoken to like that after going through the pain of childbirth. So, I need to make sure Ethan's family regrets. Otherwise, it's unfair to this child who was spoken of so terribly right after being born. What are you all even saying? We're getting divorced, so please leave. And make sure you pay child support. You remembered what was said last time? I thought you'd forgotten since it was right after giving birth. I said it in the heat of the moment, so I'd like it to be forgotten. How can you think such selfish behavior is acceptable? I don't want this child to be touched by a family that only believes in psychic abilities. Believing in what I say is ridiculous. You don't need to go that far, do you? It's Monica's fault for acting in a way that made her suspected of cheating. Shouldn't you reflect on that a bit? If I hadn't acted in a way that made me suspect, this wouldn't have happened. Why can't you see that you're at fault? It's sad that this child would be raised by someone like you. Anyway, this child will definitely be raised as our heir. I won't tolerate any more selfish behavior. Who's being selfish? It seems pretty clear it's you. I've recorded our previous conversations, just so you know. You did what? Ethan's family was shocked. They probably didn't think I had recorded them. I hadn't planned on recording, but the atmosphere felt so off that I did. And given how things turned out, I'm glad I recorded it. It seems Ethan and his father intended to deny ever saying those things and avoid paying child support, but I won't allow that. Ethan kept making snide remarks over the phone and texts while I was waiting at my parents', so I'm not forgiving that either. They act all high and mighty because there are 4 of them, but I have proof. I'll use this evidence to ensure I get child support. You'll definitely be paying child support. You don't need to say that. I only said those things because I thought Monica was cheating. If she wasn't cheating, let's just go back to how things were. I got a tip from a coworker that you've been very close with a younger female colleague. Even in the week we were apart, you went out to eat several times. Who told you that? Sure, I went out to eat, but that's irrelevant. I thought we were divorcing, so I was just looking for someone else. All the excuses, it turns out you were the one cheating. We should definitely get divorced. You can go back to your parents' home and be the heir there. Fine, I'll take over my family's home then. Monica, you're on your own from now on. Don't come to regret divorcing me. About that, it's come out that Julie's psychic abilities aren't real. It's spread around the area, and our sales have plummeted. At this rate, the business might go bankrupt. What? This is the first I've heard of it. Why didn't you tell me something this important sooner? Well, it started happening after the baby was born. Julie lost her confidence and started spreading the word herself, and since our company was rooted in the community. You were planning to leave that company to me? What am I supposed to do now? I don't care about your problems anymore, just leave. We have the evidence, so don't try to escape it. This is how I drove out Ethan's family and immediately called my parents. Ethan's family was despairing, but that's none of my concern. I never thought things would turn out this way right after the child was born. I thought Ethan and I would raise the child together, but it didn't work out. But strangely, after being kicked out of the hospital room, Ethan came back once. Just between us, why don't we cut ties with my family and live with just the 3 of us? I'm fed up with Julie's psychic nonsense. I really wanted us to be together, just the 3 of us. It's too late to say that now. You didn't believe anything I said. I have no intention of starting over with you. If I have to pay child support, I'll go bankrupt. It's your fault for the terrible things you've done. You'll have to pay both. Such a thing. Ethan said this and then, seemingly out of arguments, quietly left the hospital room. I think that was the most defeated I've ever seen him. Later, through someone I know, I heard that Ethan's family's traditional crafts business went bankrupt. It seems they got carried away exploiting Julie's supposed psychic abilities, and when it was revealed as unreliable, they quickly lost all trust. I think they must have been talking big to me because of that. Ethan tried to contact me right after the bankruptcy, but I ignored him immediately. I assumed he was just going to try to reconcile. On the day I cut ties with Ethan's family, I told my parents everything that had happened at the hospital. They sympathized with me and gave me a lot of encouragement. We had no idea such things were happening behind our backs. We're really sorry for not understanding your situation. Please tell us immediately if anything difficult comes up again. That family saying such things to you, they're really the worst. It was the right decision to cut ties early. I don't think you could ever be happy staying with them. You two saying that makes me feel much relieved. I thought it would be just me and the baby, but it seems that's not the case. Can I stay at home for a while? Of course, you can. You can stay at home until the child grows up. Monica, you're our child, so depend on us. That's right, as your father said. Monica, you may be a mother, but you're also our child. And Monica's child is our grandchild. I'm so glad to hear you say that. I was very anxious about the future, but now I feel okay. I'm glad this child could be born into your family. We're glad to say that too. Whatever happens, we will protect you, so live without worry. You don't have to strain yourself just because you have a child. It's better to rely on us for everything. We're really happy to be able to interact with the child too. Despite feeling very alone after deciding to divorce Ethan, I felt tremendously relieved thanks to my parents. Although Ethan was family, I realized that my parents are my family too. I used to think that once married, I shouldn't rely on my parents, but it seems that's not the case. I might be a bit of a burden, but from now on, I plan to do my best raising my child at my